Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the Near Fall podcast. Today is Friday, May 15th, and we're coming to you live from the heart of the Near Fall Nation in beautiful Bakersfield, California.
This is Oildale, California. I just want to clear that up. We're coming to you live from Oildale, California.
From Oildale, California. We have our usual lineup of hosts, me, myself, Juicy F and J, and
Joel. I haven't thought of a cool handle yet. I'm still working on it.
What about J-Bone?
Yeah. All right, I'll be J. I'm J-Bone.
J-Bone
I'm
works.
going as J-Bone.
And
Cody.
and Cody.
He for real doesn't have one. He can go by the voice because apparently we've been getting some feedback from the people in the Near Fall Nation that maybe he has the best voice. And I'm gonna come clean on last week's episode. I did let the margaritas affect me a little bit, and that's why I was talking like I was slowed down. Do not adjust your phones or your computers or your listening devices. I was not slowed down. Well, I was, but not intentionally, I guess. You could say that. But either way. All right. We're going to jump right into it here, guys. Today we're going to talk about, we're going to cover Raw a little bit, just because it was a go-home show, Cody's favorite wrestling term. We're also, of course, going to talk about Payback, the big show coming up this week. We're going to make some predictions. We're going to cover some Daniel Bryan, of course, because if you're in the world of wrestling, you're talking about Daniel Bryan. And we're probably going to talk about the Elimination Chamber. But, you know what we'll sneak it in the last 2 seconds of the podcast, kind of like WWE did with the month of May. So we'll shove that in there. We'll talk about it for 10 seconds. And, yeah, we'll do that. All right, so pretty much the main thing that happened, the number one thing that happened on Raw, put a tear in my eye and made my heart shrink 2 sizes. I felt like the Grinch. Was the Daniel Bryan coming out, relinquishing the belt, basically telling everybody that he's not going to wrestle again. I mean, he left the door open a tiny bit, but it was barely a crack. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think's going on with Daniel Bryan?
You know what? I'm not a fan of the gimmick. I think, we all talk about how we would love to see Cena doing something else. Granted, I know the yes is nowhere near as old. But, I don't think any gimmick should be longer than, maybe a year. You get tired of it. And with a shoulder injury, a repeated shoulder injury, the constant yesing with the arms in the air is definitely...
You think that's what's happening? You think he's yesed his shoulder out?
I think he Sami Zayn'd himself.
Oh, man. He's the best worker they got, dude. They got to give him all the time in the world to get back, for sure. They've got nobody who's as good as him.
It's his neck that's messed up, though, right?
They haven't said. They won't. They refuse to say. They won't say what's going on with him. They just keep
I thought he
saying
messed
he's
up
hurt.
his neck again because he refuses to get the surgery. He's in all the holistics, so he's rubbing dirt on it and
He's poking it
thinking
with
it's gonna be
needles
worse.
and stuff. Like, oh, this is gonna.
It's fine.
Fix it. Yeah, it's
He
fine.
probably hurt himself lifting all those weights in the 5-Hour Energy commercial.
Yeah, saw that commercial finally.
Here's the thing: the dude's the greatest worker. He's held every championship you can hold. I think he's got to come back, man. He's got to get the surgery or whatever he needs. They really haven't said what's going on with him.
Yeah,
there's no timetable. I read some articles. They're thinking about moving him. He's already going to be on Tough Enough, and moving him to an announcer job just doesn't cut it for me, man.
No, you know what? If he's done wrestling for now, as young as he is and as much talent as he has, it's too soon for an announcer. If anything, the Tough Enough angle looks pretty good, and maybe a coach at NXT.
Yeah,
because he's a great talent.
But you got to keep him on TV. Because
Yeah.
the dude sells merchandise, man.
No, he does, but I don't think he has a personality to be a manager.
No, he can't be a manager.
No, I could see him being a trainer though.
I could
training
see
the
what
young
I
guys.
think is going to happen with DB is he's going to take a little bit of time off, heal up, and come back and handle business, dude.
But
handle business, bro.
How much time has he already had off?
Yeah,
in the last 2 years.
that poor guy can't catch a break, man.
He really can't, dude.
Anytime
really
he wins a
can't.
title, he gets screwed over.
It reminds me,
And it's not even like storyline screwed over. It's literally gets hurt and done.
It's a reality era.
Yeah.
But I will say, though, seeing what we saw on Monday, if it is a wrestler's time to go or it is his last match, I like that. Coming out, telling the fans goodbye, letting the fans tell you, thank you, Daniel. When Edge did it, thank you, Edge.
Yeah, I was going to say
it was almost the same. It was the same promo. I don't know if you guys saw that comparison.
Yeah,
he almost said the same thing.
Yeah,
but like when Stone Cold wrestled Rock for the last time, and he put the Rock over, and I don't even think he got the ring at the end. He just walked out, and the Rock kept the ring, and you never saw him in the ring again. You never got that goodbye, thanks for the years. And I think every wrestler should go out that way. I think the fans deserve to see that.
Stone Cold talked about it on his podcast, as he wishes he would have maybe done that a little bit differently, I think. But, because it was not announced. It was just he knew and some other people knew. But, yeah, I think you're right, man. I think if it was his last time in the ring as a performer, then I thought it was a pretty good way to go. It was a pretty good send-off, I thought. Yeah. But it was definitely sad, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, even like the Shawn Michaels one, that one was sad, too.
Yeah. Well, and
get a little misty-eyed.
The Shawn Michaels and the Edge, those were for certain. Yeah. I'm done. Yeah. Daniel Bryan's is still up in the air. But, another segue to keep him on air, because you can't, if he's a trainer or a coach, he's not going to be on air.
No.
But maybe if this authority angle's getting stale and it's going to break up, maybe, Vince appoints him to be bring back the general managers.
Yeah, the authority's got to go soon. And that's what I think they're definitely working towards that, I think.
Yeah, the general manager thing, thinking of it, that's actually a pretty good idea.
It's been a while since they've had a general manager. The authority thing's been working since, late 2013?
Yeah.
So...
Corporation 2.0.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he could... But see, I think he'd be more of a Mick Foley type manager. I don't think he'd be like a authority type. I think he'd be kind of a seat of the pants, kind of, let's do this match today. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely think that's the way he'd be played. But, like I said, if that is definitely the last time we'll see him in the ring, I appreciate the way he went out instead of just fading out and not knowing until years later and revealing it on his podcast.
Oh, yeah. It was, or in his book that's coming out this summer.
Right.
That's a plug for his book. I don't know the title. It's probably wrestling.
Sitting at home a lot, so he's got something to do.
It's called Sitting at Home a Lot.
It's probably
the
called
Daniel Bryan
Yes.
story.
It's probably called Yes.
It's probably called Sitting at Home a Lot, Banged Up. The Daniel Bryan story. Forward by Joe Terry.
Yeah, rubbing sticks on my wounds.
Yeah, rubbing sticks in my wounds. It's probably called Sticks in My Wounds. I think he should be the SmackDown general manager because let's be honest, SmackDown's kind of bogus, at least in my eyes. I don't like watching it.
Say, hey, look at these highlights, and that's all they ever do.
He'll be the guy that says, hey, look at these highlights.
Yeah. Let's see what happened on Raw this week.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to do something with him, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess we'll be looking out for that. To me, that's an interesting development. That's one of my favorite guys out there right now. So, all right, so we're gonna roll into Payback. Everybody's 2, now 3 pay-per-views before SummerSlam pay-per-view. All right, we're excited about it. Actually, got a lot of matches. There's 8 matches, including the match on the pre-show, which is, I guess they're calling them the Meta Powers. What'd you guys think of that one? Did you guys knew? Look at that, man. Hopefully we can edit that out. There's been no margaritas cited, aside from the 2 I had a little bit earlier before you guys got here, to the Near Fall headquarters. Did you guys know? Did you guys have an inkling that was going to happen when those 2 cats rolled out?
No, I didn't. Before we get into that, I think Damian Sandow's Macho Man was pretty on point.
Yeah, no. It was more of like the comedic Macho Man.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's got to be.
But it's better than Curtis Axel's Hogan.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's a terrible Hogan.
They need to make him shave. I think they need to make him actually look the character. That's the one part that I have with Sandow and all these characters that he does is he never shaves. He never changes the way he looks. He still looks like Damian Sandow.
He was on point with X-Pac when he copied X-Pac.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I know you guys hate TNA and all, but
Nobody hates TNA. It's just boring. And they're moving it to Wednesdays to compete with Lucha and NXT.
Yeah,
goodbye, TNA.
Yeah, well, most people ain't even watching anyway because it's on a channel nobody gets.
Yeah.
But either way, Jay Lethal, when he did Black Machismo, was spot on Macho Man, no matter what.
How could he be spot on Macho Man?
He was
There's
Black
one
Machismo.
clear barrier to him being spot on Macho Man.
That's why he was Black Machismo.
We're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
Because this is not a racially charged podcast. But
if any of you guys don't know who Black Machismo is, YouTube it. The guy's amazing.
YouTube it. Get to us on Facebook, the Nearfall Podcast. Hit us up on Twitter. Email us, nearfallpod@gmail.com. Let us know how much you think Black Machismo sucks. Hashtag Joe Terry. Hashtag receding hairline. That's probably too long.
At Real Juicy F&J.
But, so what do you guys think of those guys? You guys think they're going to keep this going? These Mega Powers 2.0, I think is a better name.
I hope not.
I think it's almost... Hogan's still alive. Do they realize that?
Well, so is Animal.
It was probably Hogan's
doing
idea.
Legion of Doom 2.0.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they're putting them up against the Legion of Doom copycats. So
did you feel the power from the leg drop when he laid it down?
that was the worst leg drop ever.
Are there good leg drops though? Are there some where you're like, dang, that
Hogan sells the leg drop better than he does.
Yeah, well, I mean Hogan when he got
doing it for 60 years.
Well, when he only got a couple of moves. You gotta really sell
perfect him.
You gotta really sell him. He's got lots of time working those moves.
Yeah.
So our
John
first
Cena.
match. Whoa! Pump the brakes, dude. We're not even to the John Cena match, and you're already capping him. For those of you that don't know, he's been blasting him all week long, sending pictures of him in the Divas Championship and all this stuff, which he could win.
Heck yeah.
He could be a 12-time Diva champion.
That's next month. He's feuding with Nikki Bella.
That makes sense. Tie it in. Get some viewers for Total Divas. Makes perfect sense. So that's the first match. That's the pre-show match, which I always feel cheated when we get the pre-show match. But one thing I like about it is that leaves a full 3 hours for the rest of the matches. They're not trying to cram all those matches into the 3 hours. So we've got the Mega Powers 2.0 versus the Legion of Doom 2.0. What do you guys think?
Me, myself, I think it's going to be Meta Powers. I don't know why. They just formed the team. I don't really see them losing right now. Unless it's going to be like they're going to do like how the Mega Powers broke up. Maybe they lose, one of them gets pissed off. But I'm going to put my money on the Mega Powers for right now.
Cody, what do you think?
Might have to go with Juicy J on that one.
Yeah, I think we're going across the board here, Meta Powers. Mr. Producer, what do you think? We blew it. We blew the whole podcast. We forgot to even introduce our esteemed producer, soundboard magician. He also is yet to acquire a nickname. We tried to go with Bill Pimble. That's a real person, so we didn't do that. But we're working on that. But he also doesn't care, so there's really no point. He refuses to even get a microphone just so we can hear him talking. Oh, we've also got picks from Brian Ryan. He's got some picks coming in to you from Taft, California, straight from the horse's mouth. So Cody's going to deliver those to us hot and heavy as soon as he finds them.
Across the board with the power.
Powers. Feel the power, brother. Coming to you. Take your finger. We'll get them. Point your finger straight up to the sky. Swirl it around. That's how you do it. All right.
The next match on our list, we got the I Quit match. John Cena versus Rusev.
The American icon, John Cena.
I think we're going to go ahead and stick with Joe on this one. Let him go first.
All right. My original thought was John Cena, even though I hate the guy. But a couple weeks ago when he was doing his promo for Sami Zayn, he opened it off with saying, "I quit." And then he did like a long, awkward pause. Kind of reminded me of how The Rock screwed Mankind over in their match. I kind of see Rusev doing something like that, and then going on to the next pay-per-view. I don't know, Elimination Chamber, maybe not, but after that. So I'm going to put my money on Rusev.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it because I think Rusev's that kind of guy, right? Like, he's that dirt bag.
He's kind of desperate at this point, though.
Yeah, he's borderline like domestic violence guy, right, with Lana right now. So it's kind of like, what's his deal, you know? He's like, "You get to the back," and she's like, "I'm sorry, Rusev." But I think I'm rolling with Cena here. I'm sticking with my boy. I'm in the C Nation. Can't see me. Literally, this is a podcast. You cannot see me. You might be able to catch me on the time lapse, which will be on Facebook, Twitter, and that's it. We're not going to email it. We don't got anyone to email it to, but I'm rolling with John Cena in the C Nation for the simple fact that this is the 4th match. If they're trying to do what all the articles say they're trying to do with that title, they're not going to have Cena drop it. They're going to have him bury Rusev once and for all. They're going to go work some angle with Lana leaving Rusev and going with somebody else as a face. So that's why I think it's got to be a Cena. There's not going to be a 5th match. Because if Rusev wins, then that makes another match, and they're just 5 is too many. 4 is too many, if you ask me. But
4 is definitely too many. But Cena's already been on TV saying, win or lose, this is the last match.
Yeah. So where are you going?
I'm really torn on this one. I think I'm torn more on this one than I am the Fatal 4-Way. And like we spoke earlier, it's just you're killing yourself trying to get inside Vince's head and see what he's thinking.
I smell Rusev coming.
I could see
Cody
having Cena
Machka.
quit.
Cody, remember, you're a diehard Cena fan.
You're the
I know,
leader
but
of
I'm
the
trying to win the
Bakersfield C
belt.
Nation.
I'm trying to win the belt this week.
I don't think you're going to take it, dude. Hey, but it doesn't matter because you got another pay-per-view next. It's like the UFC now.
Yeah.
Going to have one every other week.
There was something on.
All right, dude. You're on the clock, dude. You're on the clock, son.
I'm going to go Cena.
Cena. That's a solid pick, dude. You can't go wrong picking John Cena.
And coming straight out of Taft is also Cena.
Straight out of Taft, California. We'd like to call that Oil to West.
Brian, you break my heart, man.
Brian Ryan. Breaking hearts all over Taft, baby. That's what I like to hear. All right. Where do you guys want to go next? I think we have written down here that we're do the Fatal 4-Way next. We got to bump that to the end. There's
Yeah,
a
we should
lot
save
of
that for
heat
last.
there.
Okay, we'll go Bella's.
Bellas versus Tamina and Naomi. A match that is virtually pointless.
Irrelevant. It should be the Divas Championship match.
Put
Naomi
the
deserves
strap
the.
up.
This makes more sense than the Bray Wyatt and Ryback one, though. So
You know what? I'll go
Barely.
ahead and start it off. I don't really have much explanation here except for, like Joey said about the Meta Power, just getting them together.
yeah,
I'm going to go Naomi. And Tamina or
Tamina, yeah.
Tamina.
I think it's going to be a dusty finish. I think it's going to be some interference.
yeah. There's going to be some kind of heel thing.
They're
going
trying
on.
to establish them as heels, bad heels too. That's why they're wearing all black now, leather jackets, and doing that ghetto dancing that Naomi was doing.
Yeah, then next week they're going to be good guys again, and Bella's are going to be bad. I don't know why they keep flip flopping.
Yeah, Diva turns are the worst, dude.
Yeah.
They're the worst.
there's no build up to it.
No, they just like, oh, I'm a bad guy now. Why? I don't know. Why not? So yeah, I'm on board with you, Cody. But I'm gonna pick the Bellas.
No.
Just because I gotta pick the Bellas, dude. I like the Bellas more. I don't like Naomi. I liked her when she was in the Funkadactyls. I thought she was cool then. I think her finisher sucks. It's stupid. Like, oh, I'm gonna touch my butt in your face. Like
the butt punch.
yeah, why does that hurt? I mean, I know, granted, they don't hurt like they look like they hurt, but how does that one even hurt even a little bit?
It's the butt flop. You got to be, man.
Yeah, I don't like
look
it.
how
So
many-
I'm going Bellas.
Look how many
I'm
girls
going
use the
Bellas.
stink face as a finisher.
Yeah, that's dumb.
I mean, most of those girls, I wouldn't mind it.
Straight out of Taft is also going with the Hills. Naomi and Tamia.
All right. Well, I'm going Naomi and Tamina too. So Joel's by himself on this one.
Well,
Now he feels like me with my Rusev.
no, I don't, because I know I'm gonna win. You're just picking with your heart instead of your brain.
With my heart.
Your heart. You have a Russian heart. You have a Bulgarian heart. You should get a tattoo of Bulgaria. Is that a country, Bulgaria, Mr. Producer? Bulgaria? That's a country? All right. So, next match, let's do New Day versus Kid and Cesaro for, if you've been watching Raw and SmackDown, for the 500th time. Did you ruin that board? For those of you that the board that I spent 20 minutes making at least. I mean, I taped this thing.
In the middle of the board.
I taped it. I did all this. I put all this hard work into it, and here is Joe just marking all over it, like it's just some piece of paper taped to the wall in my garage.
Yeah, it kind of is.
In your studio.
In the studio. This is the studio, the Nearfall studio.
Yeah.
All right, so I think the next match we'll get into is going to be New Day and Cesaro. New Day versus Kid and Cesaro. I'm thinking they just put the belt on New Day. I think they're going to leave it there. Makes sense. Makes sense to leave it there. Plus, I think New Day's getting a lot of heat as high quality, kind of top notch heels. I really like them.
Yeah.
They're super corny. They do stupid stuff. One of my favorite things was I don't know if it was last week's Raw or a couple Raws ago, but they won a match. No, it was 2 Raws ago when they had the opening match. And they're back celebrating, but it's like an hour and a half into the show, and they're still back in the back just dancing.
Did you guys see them picking up Big E?
Yeah.
They barely picked him up.
That's a big old boy. That's why
Yeah,
he
he
is
is.
Big E. So where you guys at? Jay Terry?
Juice J. I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go New Day. They seem pretty hot right now, so I think I'm going to go with them.
That's a solid pick. Pick.
Yeah, people are really starting to like them, so I'm going to go with them.
Well, and I think, too, with, and we'll probably get into this later, but with the Wyatts, not really the Wyatts, but Harper and Rowan getting back together, and they still have the Lucha Dragons, who haven't really been put into the title picture.
Well,
I think it might be time to split Kid and Cesaro back up, even though they didn't have a long run. But
as far as Lucha Dragons, one of them's hurt, and it's like they took the other one off. The other one just disappeared. He's like bedside
Same
with
with the
them,
Usos.
yeah, same
waiting
with
for him to get better.
same
Oh
with
yeah,
the Usos will never they'll never be singles wrestlers. They're not popular enough as singles wrestlers.
As soon as the one got hurt at WrestleMania, you haven't seen the other one since. But I'm also going to go New Day.
New Day?
Because with the piggybacked Elimination Chamber, there's a rumor that that's going to be one of the Elimination Chambers is a tag match. So I think New Day loses it there. They keep it here.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see. I think we'll get into that a little bit later, but it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Make sure you put it on the right one.
Yeah, make sure you put on the right one, dude. Get your etiquette right with your pick board, dude. That's it. Oh, I'm New Day, baby.
I'm New Day.
New Day?
I think it's New Day down the board.
I think it's going to be New Day across the board. You're not going to pick against New Day. But I know we're going to cover this later, but I want to just touch on it briefly right here. I think it's going to be interesting how they handle the tag team elimination chamber. Because you're not going to put both dudes in one box.
Yeah.
Because, what do you got, 6 boxes in that elimination chamber?
6 boxes, yeah.
6 boxes. So you put 6 tag teams, you got 12 dudes in there.
Well,
No room for 12 dudes in one ring.
Yeah, if you do 6, that'd be the only way you can do it. But like if you play it in the game, all their video games they have, it's always 3-on-3, and they just release them one at a time. Sometimes it's it could even be 3-on-1, stuff like that.
Quick shout out to that motorcycle that just drove by.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was loud as hell.
Put a big sign out in front of my house that said, "Please no motorcycles." No, I didn't do that.
Trying to do a podcast.
Yeah, I think you're right, dude. I think it's going to be 3 teams, and you're right. You could be out there. It could be, it'll be interesting too with New Day because New Day's 3 guys, right? They're kind of doing that free bird rules.
Yeah.
We got 3 guys, 2 belts. We'll just kind of mix them up. It'll be interesting to see which 2 they put out.
I think with Cesaro being in there, you have to have Big E. Because you got to have one more big guy. Oh, well,
yeah, you got to have some feats of strength, like, I'm going to pick you up. And
yeah, well, now they got Harper and Rowan.
Yeah. We're getting too far into it. We're getting too far into it, but I think we're New Day across the board. Where do you want to go next, Cody?
Well, let me say, I wrote it on the board, but also Taft, California is going with New Day.
Straight from Taft, baby. For those of you that don't know Taft, it's a lovely community. That's where Brian lives.
I think next we'll go ahead and go Bad News Barrett versus Neville.
Excuse me, I think you mean King Barrett.
King.
He did win.
The king of bad news, Barrett.
He did win the King of the Ring.
That's a shit win.
Yeah,
Well, it was
that win is irrelevant.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd
love to see them do something with it, but it's,
there's no king like Jerry the King, baby. Well, who wants to pick this one first, man? I'm on the fence about this one.
Me too.
I'm going
Kinda
Neville.
torn.
He lost to him at the King of the Ring, and I think he avenges it here. Plus, I want to see the Red Arrow.
Yeah,
That's the
that's a
sickest
dope
fucking move in WWE right now.
Man, how did you guys feel, going back to Raw real quick, how did you guys feel when he hit it on Cena? I'm sure Joe was ecstatic, just elated, overjoyed. Probably marked out. He probably marked out.
Totally
probably
marked out.
Jumped up off his couch, started running around, trying to hit red arrows on his son, all this stuff. And then here comes Rusev. Just kicked him out of the way, man. That broke my little heart, dude. I felt bad.
I actually thought that was good for him, though, because, you lose to Cena on that. He's going to get buried just like
He
everybody
actually
else.
won, yeah. So.
Yeah.
It put him over, and it kept the belt with Cena.
Yeah. I thought it was a good match, too. I was waiting for him
It was
to...
a great match.
I was waiting for him to break Neville's shoulder and, everything else.
Yeah, just bury him. Just like he did Zayn. I'm just going to bury you, Zayn. Put on an awesome 15-minute match with you.
Yeah.
And then pulling the plug. Taking you off life support, dude. John Cena can't keep carrying matches with guys like Zayn and Neville. It's ridiculous.
That's
So
bullshit,
yeah,
man.
I'm also gonna dig deep here and go with Neville. I think Barrett might win, just because they just put the crown on him, so to speak, or exactly. But
Yeah.
I just think there's no point in having a rematch to have Neville lose 2 times in a row. I don't know.
Yeah. To keep it interesting, since all you guys are going for Neville, which I'm seeing Brian looks like he went for Neville too, I'm going to go Barrett, just to be different.
And just to explain to you guys at home or abroad, what we're doing here, every pay-per-view we put together a little graph, a little chart, a little old school style spreadsheet of our picks, and basically we keep tally. 1 point for a standard match, 2 points for a championship match. Person that gets the most points wins the belt.
Heck yeah.
I think for about 2 pay-per-views in a row here, it's been my wife that has been carrying the crown or the belt, so to speak. Tried to get her in here to lay some picks down, but she is busy. She's busy. She can't just come in here and lay picks down with us. So she'll get her picks in. We'll get her picks in, and we'll probably be announcing that she won here on the next podcast. But
I thought me and Kaysen had the title from King of the Ring. Breaks my heart.
yeah, you did. You guys got that one, but that was
That one did
irrelevant.
count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a shit win.
Yes.
I mean, Cody said earlier it was a shit
It was
win.
a bullshit thing.
Shit
Yeah,
win.
no big deal.
I mean, if Barrett's win is a shit win, I don't know how yours is a real win. All right. Next, let's go with Sheamus and Ziggler. What do you guys think? Is there going to be ass kissing in this match?
No, I think that was definitely a dumb angle.
Oh, no, that was extreme angle.
But even though Ziggler won the last one, he ended up kissing the ass. So I think Ziggler also wins this one for his revenge.
Well, yeah, but that
that's
was
my
the
pick,
only way you can make
Ziggler.
that match end. Was in last month's pay-per-view was to have basically Sheamus cheap shot Ziggler. That's the only way that thing could have happened.
Well, yeah, you got to get
you
you're getting Sheamus some heat by
Yeah.
doing that, right?
Yeah.
So
You can't. You got to have the cool guy with the mohawk. Do that.
and the
And-
beard beads.
Yeah.
Everybody loves beard beads.
I'm going with the Mohawk Warrior on this one. I'm going Sheamus.
Mohawk Warrior.
Mohawk Warrior, Sheamus.
Are you not entertained? Cody, what are you doing, man?
I'm going Ziggler.
I agree. Zig. What about Brian? Where's Brian at?
Tap California's going with Sheamus.
Straight to you, Tap, California. The Celtic Warrior. Is he still going by that? Or is he going by something else now? You're not even that short.
No,
Joe.
I definitely think
I'm taking Ziggler, baby. All the way. What'd you guys think of Zig on stage with Britney Spears?
that was a little random.
That was really weird. She autographed his shirt. But that just, that was one of those things.
The shirt was worth more before she signed it.
Yeah. That's one of those things.
Because he wore it, and now it's depreciated.
That's one of those things that reminds me is like, they're famous and they're like these huge personalities, but they still also like other famous people, right? That's crazy to me. All right.
He probably forced her after the show.
I don't think so, dude. I read a little article. They booted him right off the stage. He didn't get to stay and kick it.
Shit.
They just booted him right off. We got.
They didn't want him still on that show either.
We got podcast freaking no-nos going on all over the place in this freaking garage. We need to lay this thing down with some.
Cody just got hit up on Grindr. If you guys didn't hear it.
Yeah, he'll be leaving. He might not make it to the podcast. He's got to meet a dude at Starbucks.
We're just gonna make up his picks from now on. He's getting out of here.
We're just gonna. Hey, this is Cody up. Yeah, he's got to go. Yeah, there's a time limit on these things. They're time sensitive. You can't just meet a guy and be like, "Yeah, I want to talk to you," and then stand him up. So,
See, it's funny.
You got to live out loud, dude.
The first podcast, I had absolutely no idea what Grindr was, and my two colleagues here, Juicy J, which is probably his handle on Grindr, and J Bone is definitely his handle on Grindr.
Those are two
have
really
let
good.
me know exactly what Grindr is, and Joel just gave you a play-by-play on meeting men. So,
hey, I got on
let
there
me tell you something. Juicy J and J Bone are probably two of the dopest Grindr handles there could possibly be.
I'm gonna start a Grindr account just because of that.
Yeah, because I've heard from a reliable source that there's nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. So, I don't know.
And that album went platinum.
Double platinum. Reminds me of Trapped in the Closet, which shout
I
out
don't know
to
if
my
it
good
went
friend R.
platinum,
Kelly.
but it definitely went urine yellow.
Not cool, dude.
Solid
Not cool.
gold.
Hey, just on a tangent here, I was driving the other day, and I always drive, listen to my music, my tunes. If I'm not replaying the podcast, trying to get the listens up. I'm just playing. I don't listen to it. I don't like listening to myself talk. I don't feel like it's entertaining. If Seamus were to ask me, he'd be like, "Are you not entertained?" I'd be like, "No, man, I don't really like it.
I think it sucks.
I think it's kind of real bad." I really liked the first episode, but hey, another side note. We currently are the owners of the highest rated, practicing his moves over here, highest rated podcast episode with the words Mount Rushmore in the title. So that's a big thing. I think there's at least a dozen. They're actually about Mount Rushmore, so I don't know. There is one other one, the SteelCage.com podcast. I don't know how it feels down there. Wouldn't know. We're at the top, so I don't know.
I'm gonna go download theirs and listen to it.
It's not bad. I listen to it. It's okay. It's like ours, except like 4 spots worse.
Yeah. I like that we're above actual Mount Rushmore things. So
yeah, we're above like the History Channel's podcast about Mount Rushmore, which is cool. I think it's cool.
How pissed are those guys when they download that and they're like, "What the hell is this wrestling shit?"
Theirs is probably like from 10 years ago, so I don't know how
they're
pissed or not. But either way, hey, it's a good accomplishment. We're 2 weeks in. We're laying this thing down in the garage. We got baby socks over the microphone. Shout out to Nixon for loaning us these socks. Thank you, son. He doesn't know that he loaned us the socks. He's asleep. But, we're working on some things, getting you guys a more professional-sounding podcast. We've actually laid out towels this time to cut down the noise. We all keep banging our stuff outside of the towels. See, there you go. Nobody thought that I was serious about these towels, but I really, really was. All right. We're
Joel,
way off.
Hold on, Joel. I want to point out the fact that you started an off topic and never went back to it.
Oh yeah, it was
you're talking about R. Kelly.
Yeah. So I'm driving around, I'm listening to music, and then boom, I get thrust into Chapter 8 of Trapped in the Closet. Which, if you haven't heard it, that's Chapter 8 of 34.
That's how we leewayed from Grindr. He said thrust. Now he's talking about Trapped in the Closet.
So Trapped in the Closet is one of the greatest. Is it spoken word? Is it because it's sung? It's sung. Yeah, it's a hip opera. It's one of the greatest. You're crazier than a fish with titties if you don't like it. It's really good. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I think it's like $6 on iTunes when you're over there and you're downloading the Near Fall podcast. Click back to the music. Buy it. That way we need to finish the hip opera because it led off in a weird place. And Kels just needs a little bit more cash to keep it going. So that's what I think about that. We'll get back into what our podcast is about. This is actually not an R. Kelly podcast.
Guys, I'm sorry I had Joel go back to that.
No, have you listened to it? Because you wouldn't be sorry.
I'm not.
You
I'm
should
not
listen
R. Kelly
to
fan.
it. Yeah, I think there's 4 people in the room. 3 of us really like it.
Oh.
So it's really good, Twan. I'll start calling
We're
you Twan.
definitely rambling here,
Yeah, Twan.
and we're not done with our predictions.
No, we're not done. And I just wanted, that was kind of a plug
Thought I had you on the side, man.
for Cody's R. Kelly specific podcast. For Cody's R. Kelly specific podcast that's going to be dropping in a couple weeks called Piss on Me.
Which is also another good grinder name.
Yeah, underscore piss on me. All right, let's get back into it, guys. We got a couple matches left. I know this is going to be J Terry, Juicy J Terry, Juicy F and J. I don't remember what his name is. Either way, he's irrelevant. He reminds me of King of the Ring. It's going to be Ryback and Wyatt. Feed me more on your picks.
First of all, this match is just straight out of left field. Doesn't make sense. We're talking a little bit earlier. The only way I see this going down is the Wyatts are getting back together because since they formed the tag team, and that is the only way they can halfway have this match make sense.
But why would the Wyatts get back together? What is the purpose?
Because they're not doing anything.
But what them getting back together? What makes this match make sense?
Just the fact that the Wyatts got back together, they want the team to get together and be some big thing. They're going to
dominate a powerful.
Yeah, they're going to put Bray over, and maybe they're going to start feuding with New Day since it'll be 3-on-3. Maybe they're going to bring in triple tag titles or something. I don't freaking know.
Don't
but
you
if they were
think
going,
oh, go ahead.
if they were going to feud with New Day, it'd be a 3-on-3. You wouldn't need Ryback because New Day's already 3.
Yeah, but Ryback, he'll be sitting at home doing something. I don't know.
New Day.
They'll have him out like for a fake injury or something.
What I think they got to do with Wyatt is they gotta do like kind of what they did with the Undertaker, where he was that cult leader guy, and they got to get him to kind of hypnotize some minions maybe from NXT and bring them up, but not ride a motorcycle. They should never have him ride a motorcycle.
Speaking of that, I was listening to a podcast today where they were talking. It would be cool if they like brainwash somebody, like a diva though. And then they were talking like who would do that. First thing I thought of was Paige, just because she's real pale and everything. But like they said, she don't really have the the voice.
Because pale people
she
easily
can
hypnotized.
No, I'm saying she could be like that cryptic look, you know.
Yeah, no, I
since she's pale. I don't know.
Well, they got to have some way to bring her back.
Pasty people.
We love the pasties over here.
Yeah. Don't look into this watch, you pasty broad.
Yeah. I love Paige. I don't care.
Oh, yeah, no.
She's definitely
I agree.
She's definitely
But
good.
yeah, they were talking. It'd be cool to do like brainwash Bailey, since she's like that over the top like face diva.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually thinking that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Cody didn't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
He's
he doesn't
never
know who
heard of
Bailey
NXT.
is.
He thinks we're spelling the word
I thought
next
Bailey
wrong.
was a heel.
No, she's good. She's like a white meat baby face.
Yeah.
All right, so who you going with, man? So you're taking Ryback.
I'm going to
right?
say Wyatt. Like I said, yeah, I'm picking Ryback. No, I'm going to go with Wyatt just because, like I said, that is the only way I can see this story going.
Dude, Wyatt hasn't won a match in like 6 months,
It's
dude.
due for him.
He can't even win dark matches. He's not even winning matches at house shows.
Oh, yeah. What did he do? Hurt his ankle up against Undertaker or something? It's been healing up for that. That's, like I said, the only way I see this thing going down is that if not, it's going to be just a stupid, non-existent thing. And just, I don't see a feud coming out of it other than that.
Yeah, I don't get the feud. I don't get it at all.
Maybe
Wyatt hasn't been in a good program since he was with John Cena. But of course, Cena buried him, and so
There you go. We're going back to week 1.
Yeah, Cena
Week
buried
1.
him.
It's about time he
We should
comes and
change
does
the name of this podcast to
Fuck Cena.
no.
I'm
to
all for it.
WeLoveCena.com podcast.
Cena, if you want to come on the show, we'll do a podcast with you, man.
He would totally talk us all under the table.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to talk. Either way, I'm also going to go with Ryback. Yeah, I'm going with Ryback, baby. Feed me more. Ryback's where it's at. I just don't. I don't feel like there's any reason. There's any reason for Wyatt to win. I don't understand why he would win.
Why would you see Ryback winning?
Because Ryback's the man.
I do like Ryback, but
He needs to be fed more.
I'm gonna go with Wyatt. Like you mentioned.
Wyatt's on here.
Well, you put Ryak, so
Oh yeah, I forgot to be there. There we go. Put a B in there. That's fucking perfect. Why'd you guys make me do this?
nobody made you do it. You just kept doing it. So we're not going to tell you not to.
Well, you guys tried to have me not do it by putting the pin all the way up there. I can't reach that.
That pin's at 5 feet 10 inches, guys. It's not really that high.
I just feel like you said he hasn't won a match in 6 months. He's due,
You
and
better be.
so I'm gonna go Wyatt, and good old Taft's going Wyatt as well.
All right.
I like how we've gotten away from even mentioning Brian's name. We're just calling him by the name of the place that he lives. I love it.
Brian, we love you, man.
Yeah. Taft Ryan, how you doing, man? See, I'm trying to work the strategy angle, right? Everybody's picking Wyatt. I'm picking Ryback. And, you know, if Ryback pulls the upset, then I got it. It happened to me in the King of the Ring tournament. I picked R-Truth. What's up? And he ended up winning. And so I got a point
see
there.
that one coming.
So, you know, he's afraid of spiders. Who would have saw it coming? So, all right. Well, we've got one match left, kids. The Fatal 4-Way. You got Rollins, Orton, Reigns, and Ambrose. Who wants to take this one first?
Go for it, Cody.
A lot of angles in this match, man. A lot of different stuff going on here.
You can't go wrong picking anybody in this. I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be a winner and 3 losers, but there's an argument for every one of them to win, as well as there's an argument for every one of them to lose. So this one, I mean, there's so many angles with the Kane may lose his job if Seth Rollins doesn't come out the champ. How long do you want Seth to hold the belt? Has he held it long enough? You know, it's real hard. I feel like they threw Ambrose in too late for him to really have a push, which I'd also like to see him in the Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Championship. I felt he should have won it at Mania at the ladder match. So I'd like to see him in that and bring that title up.
Well, that's a lot of the problem when you have a pay-per-view 3 weeks after your last one.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of time to build.
a story.
There's no slow burns going on. I mean,
Well,
you've got the kind of the slow burn with obviously with all 3 of the dudes, right? Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose from the Shield, but they kind of dropped that after Reigns got hurt. They kind of abandoned that. They kind of fast-tracked Rollins, tried to fast-track Reigns. Nobody liked it. They ended up doing it anyways, and then you know, he ended up taking the loss at Mania, but I don't know. A lot of stuff going on in this match, man.
I definitely see Ambrose just got brought in for being kind of the guy who's going to get pinned.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that's
It's
a good
just-
point.
I think maybe we throw that in on this as a tiebreaker. Who takes the loss as maybe a tiebreaker? Because we could maybe say we all pick Rollins, right? But Cody, of course, should have known taking Orton, you know. Orton, they could roll him out to the ring in a wheelchair. Cody's like, he can run him over.
No, but yeah, I'm going to go Randy Orton. I just feel like Seth Rollins, they're going to work something with Kane maybe, and I don't think Kane deserves a title shot. Like I said, I want to see Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship, and I still feel like Roman Reigns is not ready to be the champion yet.
No, not at all.
And I don't think Orton is past his prime. So I think he still is relevant in the title contention. So you let him have it at least one more time in his career right here. You know, I mean, what do you think he has? He's not going to be a Hogan and try to keep reinventing himself.
Oh, he's got 30 years left, dude.
Nah, dude, I think Orton's probably out in the next 5. So you let him have the title at least one more time before he goes out. And what better time than right now?
I tell you right now, dude, Orton's not getting into the Hall of Fame until 2045 when he hangs it up.
Yeah. Orton,
You know.
I think
Yeah.
he's still in his prime, definitely.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in his prime. I think what we think about wrestlers or sports entertainers for, you know, there are probably 4 people out there that think it's that. is that we think of guys in their mid-30s as wrestlers, but we kind of think about other sports, right? We're thinking about mid-30s basketball players, mid-30s football players, and we're like, dude, these guys need to hang it up, you know? So, yeah, I think Orton's definitely not past his prime, and I think that's a solid pick. I'm definitely going to go with Rollins, and I think it's going to be a dusty finish. I think Kane's going to be involved. I don't think it's going to be anything where you'd be like, okay, that was a clean win, which is not the kind of wins that Rollins ever has. He's kind of a chicken scratch, kind of a sneak a win out here and there, maybe a roll up. It's not going to be a pretty win, I don't think. I think he's going to end up, whichever one of you guys said it, I think it was Juicy over there, that it's going to be on Ambrose. I think somebody's going to hit Ambrose with something, probably going to be an RKO. Probably off the Raptors, or he's probably going to cut a hole in the bottom of the ring and pop up and give him one, or off a trampoline or something. But
definitely out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the only way they come. No, they don't. You don't like walk up to the front of them because that'd be a stunner. But yeah, I think it's going to end up being on Ambrose, and I think Rollins is going to take it and hold on until SummerSlam. Is my prediction.
Do we want to do our marks for who pinned him too? Or who got pinned, I mean?
Yeah, we could do that. I'm taking Ambrose to get pinned. Cody?
I think I'll go ahead and take Roman Reigns to get pinned.
Ooh, 2 in a row?
Whoa, how are they going to make him look strong?
Maybe they'll have the Big Show come out and he'll just can pick him up. It'd be like...
Put another table on top of him?
The Big Show will just come out and he'll be like, we're just going to pick him up, and that'll be that.
As far as mine goes, I was talking about this the other day. I'm kind of grasping at straws at it now after how the ending of Raw happened. But I actually see Randy Orton winning and pinning Ambrose. But I think that's eventually, hopefully, fingers crossed, I think it'll bring the Shield back together. I think Rollins going to throw some hissy fit about how... Kane didn't help him out and stuff like that. I think actually the whole authority is going to turn on Rollins just by even Triple H is basically calling him a bitch. But I think they're all going to start ganging up on him after everybody takes off. As Ambrose and Reigns are walking up, they're almost going to feel bad as they're watching and everything, and then they just rush the ring. And it hopefully eventually ends up in a triple powerbomb. But like I said, I'll admit it, that's totally grasping at straws. But I'm going to go Orton versus Ambrose. Or Orton beating Ambrose.
You know we're talking about Payback, not Mania 34, right? No, I mean, that's way out there, man. But that's what you got to do. If you want to win this competition, you got to really go out.
I'll admit that one. It's totally out of left field. I totally think the Wyatts are going to do their thing.
We wrote that entire prediction down too, so it doesn't happen just like that. You don't get the point. Yeah, there has to be the triple power bomb.
Mark your calendars. We put that on there.
There has to be the authority turn like that. All the stars have to align, or you get a half point.
Think about it. If they're doing that triple elimination chamber, maybe all three of the authority get, or Shield get into it.
What do we got with Taft? What's Taft going with?
Oh, he's going Rollins.
He's going Rollins. Well, he's a smart man. He's a smart man going Rollins.
He's the champion's going to retain, in his opinion.
Hard to bet against a champion.
Yeah, that's true.
I think. Well, I mean, obviously the deck is stacked against. He's got the authority on his side, J&J Security, so it is harder, for him to lose than the other three. But it's WWE, sports entertainment.
Yeah. Here's how it's gonna happen, which I don't want it to, but Rollins is gonna sneak in and steal the win. But I'm still going with mine for wishful thinking.
I think we got some definite solid picks. I think we're the same on quite a few. We're different on some. So
what about the fact that I ruined that board and we got to rewrite it after we get done?
No, we're gonna leave it as a reminder that you're never allowed to write on it again. That was the first / No, you know what kind of frame we would need for that thing, dude?
Well,
it's like 5 feet long.
Yeah, I don't care.
What kind of frame are we going to buy for that?
You
don't want a frame. You're going to have 0 points.
Let me keep it. It'll be the first and only time I ever get to get in on this.
You can keep it because you're out. If you guys are interested in a volunteer career in podcasting, we do have an opening. We had to let Juicy J go.
I want to transition now because I think we're getting towards the end of
Yeah,
the
we've
podcast.
got a couple seconds left. We could sneak in a quick blip about the Elimination Chamber.
We have 2 confirmed matches that are going to be inside the chamber itself.
No
and
confirmed participants, though, right?
Right. We have the tag team championship's going to be up in the air, so you know for sure it's going to be New Day or Kid and Cesaro.
But how is that going to work? Okay, so say you and Juicy are on a team, right? And he gets released, and then say me and Bill are on a team, and both of us get released before you get released. Do I have to wait outside the ring and get tagged in?
No.
So it's just a free-for-all.
Yeah, it'll be like a handicap match, essentially.
Well, now
it'll be a 2-on-1 match.
There's 4 chambers, and 2 start. Correct?
I thought there were 6.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, I take
2
that back.
start
It
the
is 4
match,
chambers,
and
2
there's
start the
4
match.
chambers.
Oh, okay.
And they release. There's a countdown, but you don't know which one's opening
Yeah,
next.
they do the flashing light.
So I would like to see them put, a tag team in a chamber, 2 people in a chamber. But
course
then
you
that means 4 people start the match, and then in those 4 chambers, you're going to have 8 people. But I'm sure they're just going to do it where it's 3 tag teams.
Yeah.
One from each starts, and then the others get locked away.
Well, yeah, what they can do is have, one person from a tag team be in the ring, another guy in the cell, and then same thing with on this side, and then they have 2 other guys from the tag team in there. I guess that would be how it would go.
And then the next match that's going to be in the chamber is going to be for the vacant Intercontinental Championship, and there's no participants. A question was brought up today on Twitter from the WWE guy,
Shout out.
and he wanted to know who you thought the 6 participants would be. And I wrote down on there, I think Ziggler, Ambrose, Neville, Bad News Barrett, Sheamus, and I don't know. I just they throw
Our
another.
truth, baby.
I don't want R-Truth or Stardust in there.
You got to have one of those guys, though. You're going to definitely have one of those guys. You don't have enough guys left.
Let me go back to my picks and we'll see. Go
You're
ahead.
definitely not going to have enough guys in the title picture to leave one of those guys out.
What about the fact that you said you think Rusev would do it?
I don't think you can take Rusev that quickly from a title shot if he loses, especially if he
title
loses
shot.
right back to another one. And I think the same could be said about Ambrose, but he's in a fatal 4-way. He's not in a one-on-one match. So I think if Ambrose doesn't win the title, which I don't think he is, I think he goes in that match and he wins that match. Because if you remember back to before Daniel Bryan came back, or right around the time he was coming back, Ambrose was pushing hard for the IC title. And then he just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And he lost in that Mania. But who was your other guy, Cody?
On my picks right here, I had Ziggler, Bad News Barrett, Neville, Ambrose, Rusev, and Sheamus.
Well, solid picks. That's a solid
What a-
field. I mean,
What about doing a surprise NXT guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that the recently called up guy's field is kind of tight.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well-
Bo Dallas gets in there.
No.
Adam Rose.
The Elim Bo Nation Chamber. Adam Rose is back on NXT this week,
Yeah,
looking
I know.
sad, looking depressed,
Yeah. Well,
looking like Leo Kruger.
probably because he thought he was gonna, get all big after the ESPN put him over, and it's just like, okay, well,
He was
you're
huge
back
on
over
Twitter.
On
here.
SmackDown, he was backstage making out with Fandango's old lady.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
working two. And that's the one thing I don't like necessarily about NXT and Raw and SmackDown is they're running like 2 characters.
Yeah.
Right, because on NXT he just comes out by himself. It's the music, same kind of outfit. But, anyways,
You know who could be in the Elimination Chamber also is we haven't seen The Miz since he
The
won the
Miz.
rights to his name.
Yeah.
He could be coming back. Just like
I could see
one
that.
of you guys brought up the Big Show coming out for the Fatal 4-Way. He hasn't been back since.
I hope Big Show stays gone.
Yeah,
I hope he stays gone.
yeah, we don't want Big Show.
He's
in there.
he's still under that announce table that Reigns put him under.
Well, what are you thinking? Who's the 6 guys?
No shitting you. I think you are spot on your picks.
Well, that's usually how I am.
Yeah. Well.
That's not true. He did get 1 point.
Yeah.
in the King of the Ring.
Yeah. How'd
tournament.
that King of the Ring go?
1 point, and it was Gimme.
Montreal screw job.
It was Neville.
That's about how it went.
You got the
Neville.
screw job. No, I think actually you brought it up. I think Miz would have been the good 6th pick on that we were talking
Yeah,
about.
I think maybe there'll be 5 guys that you'll be like, oh, okay, and then there'll be one guy where you're like an R-Truth or maybe a Stardust.
Who do you see takes it though?
I think if Ambrose doesn't win the WWE title, I think Ambrose takes it.
If Ambrose is in it, he's the champ.
He's over. So
You think maybe if Reigns doesn't win, they're going to throw him in that?
no, not a chance.
I kind of hope not on that too.
Yeah, not a chance.
What about you, J-Bone? Who's your 6?
I like those same guys, dude.
Yeah.
I think really it could go either way. You have 5 guys you know for sure are going to be in there, right? Ambrose, Ziggler. You're going to have
Neville.
Sheamus, Neville, and then maybe there's only 4 guys that are really really solid. I think you got the Miz, you got Miz Dow, who if this Mega Powers stay together, he won't be in there.
They'll milk.
You've also got Ryback and Wyatt, depending on what they do.
Right.
Wyatt's never held a title, so he's an interesting possibility. You could take those 4 guys plus those 2 guys, and they already have an existing feud. So that kind of adds some tension there. But
Yeah.
I think we'll see. We got a couple weeks. We'll have 2 more podcasts before then. We'll dedicate a full show to the Elimination Chamber, even though the WWE didn't dedicate really any time to it. We will.
No, I believe they should have pushed the Elimination Chamber way more than this.
Well, there's some conspiracy theories going around. We'll close the show with this conspiracy theory about how the WWE is doing a free month in May, and they also snuck a pay-per-view in that's going to end 1 hour before the free trial runs out and your next month payment kicks in. So they're hoping people don't have the time after Elimination Chamber, especially for people on the West Coast where it's already 8 o'clock, or when it starts, 11 o'clock when it's over, that they don't cancel it. So
Could be a ploy.
we'll see. Well, we never know. If you're not subscribed to the network, you're crazy.
No, but even on the West Coast, you get it at 5. The network's at 5. You don't have to wait till 8 till 11. So I don't think I think that article might be a little bogus because
Could
it
be.
starts at 5.
What the fuck do you know, Cody?
Isn't it 5 Pacific time? 8
you
Eastern?
got-
So it's 8 on the
You
East
got
Coast,
1
not the
point
West
in King of
Coast.
the Ring.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But it's still over at 11.
Yeah, you're 1 point king. That ain't good. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the show, guys. I hope it was a little better. I felt better about it. I felt energized. I think we're making progress. We hope we can bring you guys stuff that's kind of entertaining, kind of gives you our insights on wrestling. We're gonna go back to some topics next week. If you guys can connect with us on Facebook, look us up. We're the Near Fall Podcast. Get us on Twitter at Near Fall Pod. Email us your questions. Hey, if you think we suck, make sure you download and subscribe, but then also send us an email and tell us how bad we suck.
And your address.
Yeah. No, not your address. We're nearfallpod@gmail.com. Juicy J, you're on Twitter. Lay your handle on us.
Just started it. It's at the Juicy F&J.
And he doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah, don't know how to use it.
yeah.
So if you
If he doesn't
message me,
tweet you back,
Because
it's
he-
not that he doesn't like you.
Doesn't know how. Yeah. Cody, lay your handle on us, man.
It's Hanley, Hanly, 2006.
There it is. Boom. Get at us, man. Talk
Definitely,
to us. Let us
again,
know.
shout out to the WWE guy on Twitter for the question for the Elimination Chamber. Maybe he can give us a retweet so we can get some extra followers on Twitter. That'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, guys, if you like the show, if you're listening to this show, let us know. Hook us up with a shout out. Tell your friends. We got 179 people in the Near Fall Nation on Twitter. Ideally, we'd like to have 10, 20 times that. So, hey, we're going to be coming to you guys every week. We're not going to give up. So, like I said, if you like us, great. Spread the word. If you hate us, great. Spread the word. We're going to keep coming to you guys every week. So, like I said, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail. Let us know, man. Let us know what you think. Let us know your ideas, man. If you got something you want to talk about, hell, you can call in. We'll put you on the damn show. It's a damn podcast. We'll do whatever we want on this joint. So, with that, we're signing off, man. See you guys next week.
Thank you.
thanks, guys.